All right, so you can hear me, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hi, everybody. My name is Patrick Argiro, aka Cousin Pat, and I am here, and I want to say this right, with Moti
Moti, no Muay Moti.
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 Okay, Horenstein.
Yes, sir.
And we spoke last week, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do your podcast." And right before I hit record,
Now I remember.
but he's so funny because you're a genuine gentleman. I could tell because you're like, listen, I don't know why I'm here. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know what we're doing. So
Now I remember. Now you remind me.
yeah. So what I am is so my name is Patrick Argiro. I'm Cousin Pat. I have a podcast. I'm doing a big podcast with this major media in July. And so I've been interviewing people, but mostly MMA fighters.
Right.
They're just the coolest community. And like you guys just say yes. So I've interviewed a lot of really nice, a lot of people from the UFC, more current individuals. And I liked your story and I liked what you're about. So first off, I just want to tell you, I am a 46-year-old man, okay? And I'm very comfortable with who I am. And I like to say this because people always, you fighters, you go, oh, what does that mean? Like I prefer the company of women, but it's okay if you don't. That's fine. It's 2021. But I got to tell you, back in the day, you were a stud. You were like, like a really good looking, jacked up, like, I was like, wow. Because in your video in the school, you're, even now you're a very, very handsome older guy. I wouldn't say older. What's that?
Yeah, of course. I am older, man. I'm over 55.
You're 55. You look good for 55.
Over 55.
Listen, 50. Yeah, but you know what? You could still drop a 25-year-old like that, right? As far as like if somebody messes with you, it's over. It's over. So
don't forget, we have our students. I mean, I'm running schools, and we have our students that are 20, 25, challenging you after they think that they can, you old and they young.
So do you still have the school in New York, or is it just the one here?
Last year we closed it. I had their FBI guy, retired FBI guy that obviously retired from martial art also. So he just closed the school. We had a good mission there. So
real quick, I want to tell people before we start, I put on a tie for you. I want to tell people, yeah. No, I have something, an engagement after this, but I saw this tribute from one of your students, and I'm totally gonna recommend everyone go to it. Just type in on YouTube the Moti Horenstein tribute. It's really great. It's really great. It's solid, and it really helped me for this interview because I was like, this was really great because you could read stuff, and you could read this and you read that, but this was really great. And I want to tell you something. I tried to interview this actor, and I'm gonna put him on blast. His name is Lilo Brancato. Okay, now Lilo Brancato was in The Bronx Tale. Okay, he played Collagio. Now Lilo Brancato got into drugs. And unfortunately, he was involved in a police shooting in New York. And he went to jail for 10 years. So he does this show, and he's talking about how he loves helping the children. He loves helping the children. And I was like, he seems sincere. So I said, okay, I'd like to have you on the podcast. His first thing was, yeah, how much you want to give me? So I was like, wow, so you need to be paid to talk about how you want to help the children. Now, my response was, as a joke, you don't have to pay me to be on the podcast. That was a joke. And then I said, I'll volunteer at this place. I'll even give 10 free sessions to you or any loved one, or I'll talk to the children. I'll volunteer monthly at this facility where you help the kids. Never heard from him. Your video is like, you want to help children. You want them to be able to shake hands, be a good person, look someone in the eyes. It's not all about fighting. It's about respect. Like, you're like old school about helping the kids, actually being good people, not just bullshit. Now I'm a Christian, and I'm a Christian counselor, but I say bullshit. But I'm a regular guy, and I'm a former stand-up comedian. But I really like that about you. Here you are, this badass, excuse me, God, and you're still helping children. And I used to live in Miami Gardens, and I considered going to your school, but I had this bad back. And so Moti has a very good school, and we'll put a link in there at the end of it. So you're so popular. You have 3 Instagram pages. Most people only have 1, but you have 3.
Oh, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell me, so you were actually spent 3 years in the Israeli military.
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So this is my early life in Israel. Quick recap. I started when I was 5 years old with judo. I have a neighbors that run a school. So me and his son was training privately with the owner, one of the best people in Israel. Then I moved, and then I went to Dennis Hanover for the rest of my teens, martial arts. And in the same time, you mentioned looking good and stuff like that. I was modeling in Israel for many years. I went to the army at age of 18.
Look at you, Jesus.
Sorry.
No, there's a picture of you as a kid. There's a picture of you as a young man that popped up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and then we went. I went to the army. All these years of the army, we did parachuting. I was in the special forces. We did a lot of crazy stuff. A young kid, you like all over. 21 in 3 months, I left the army, and I start teaching martial arts. And that the time before, I was teaching for Dennis in his school, and I learned a lot. And during the time of the army, I was teaching and helping others to learn self-defense and stuff like that. After the army, I was running businesses in Israel until I was 25, and then I decided to come for 2 weeks vacation in America. And this 2 weeks vacation, now I'm over 30 years over here in America. Love the place, start doing tournaments and fighting all over. Opened my school in 92 in New York, and start really, I don't think that any school in the world teaching the kids how to be, how to deal with bullies, how to face to face with people, even introducing themselves, how to shake hands, how to look at people in the eyes, how today you have this noodle handshake, and doesn't fit you. Yeah. Even men's today, they give you the hands like this. I was like, are you serious? So we got to teach, I think that adults also get bullied. And I have a lot of bully from adults that coming and talking with me, and we working on things. And can be even the parents bullying their kids, can be the teachers bullying their kids, can be not just kids to kids. So we have a lot of issues with that. And then I continue with school. I opened another school. I went down to Florida because I couldn't take the cold in New York anymore. Obviously, from '93, I fought the UFC. And then I start to capture title one after one, Muay Thai in Thailand, King Cups, and then the IKF, Muay Thai, and kickboxing, Kyokushin Karate all over the world champion. So I really picked up a lot of those things. And doing that, I was also running the schools and helping everything. So, the kids is I see kids that are training and kids that not training. And it's huge difference. And I'm happy to see that, because I wish that one day they would put that martial art and explanation in the schools system, because I think that they need that. They're not teaching no discipline. and nothing with self-defense or I think it's very important. It's giving you a lot of confidence when you have that.
I want to tell you a quick story about what you said, because you said you have bullies, parents who are bullies, or teachers who are bullies. So I had a bully, well, not a bully, but someone who was very disrespectful to me, and he was related to me. And so I was taking classes, and I pulled my sensei. I didn't go very far, but I pulled my sensei aside, and this guy was a badass. And I said to him, this is the guy bullying me, and I want to like just pop him right in the face. And he looked at me and said, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. But and then, like, I told the guy a very personal thing about someone who was related to me, and to this day, like, I just feel like if I gave him a good, like, he would never talk to me. But the truth is, he probably would, because there's something wrong. But when you say you have kids who get bullied by their parents, or people who get bullied by the teachers.
Can we pause it for 1 second? 1 second.
Absolutely. Yeah, pause it. No problem.
Hey, hon.
Okay, this is
And the academy.
Marty talking, getting
Yeah.
business, getting paid, making the money.
Thank you.
Let's watch him work, because I feel like that's important. And very nice guy. I've had guys do interviews in the airplane.
Are choosing, or which programs you putting in? We have a pay up in front. We have 2 payments, 3 payments. We have monthly payment. So the best thing is to always get the first class. See, even if you like it. If he doesn't like it, doesn't work.
This guy's a legend.
But, just schedule it.
6.
Buy it and move from there.
1997 Shotokan heavyweight champion. He was on the Team USA champion. He fought in UFC 10 and UFC
3 things going on 1 shot. Sorry. Hello?
No, I'm having fun. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So do you want to schedule for class?
Because he's doing
Okay.
this out of
What's your name?
heart for me. So
Isamar. Okay. And
I
his
can't
name?
really complain.
Diego. How old?
Big John McCarthy,
6
actually.
years old. Did he ever did martial art before?
Initiated,
Okay, great.
him
So
making
which
more
day is
her.
going to be good for you? I have a class tonight at 4:15 or tomorrow.
Do 4:15.
Tomorrow, 4:15. Awesome. I'm just going to get the class starting 4:15. Can you be here in 4 o'clock, please? Awesome. Just bringing him with something comfortable to work out. We don't use the shoes in the mat. And energy, a lot of energy. And give me 15 minutes after the class. If you like it and you're interested, give me 15 minutes to show you the programs, and we go from there.
See,
The classes is 45 minutes.
Mr. Brancato.
Do you know where we located?
Okay.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. All right, Zen. Sorry about it.
No, that's okay. You gotta make that money. I was
Wait, something is not right with the volume.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hold on 1 second. There you go. All right, we're back in.
No, I was commentating as you were doing that, so it's funny for me. I can't see your face though. Pick up the camera a little bit. There you go. So, yeah, I forget where we were, but yeah, I saw the tribute. You were in New York. It was too cold. You came to Miami. You fought in the UFC. You were the 1996 and 1997 Shotokan heavyweight champion. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I remember my question. I was talking about, I was getting verbally bullied by somebody. I just wanted to like smack them. But when you talk about children who are getting bullied by the parents, or you have parents who are bullies or other people are bullying other adults, which you see. What do you like? How do you address that? Like, what can you do if you're a kid? Like, how do you address that? Do you pull the parents aside and say, maybe you shouldn't treat your children like that? Or, I mean, if you got parents who are bullying their children, which is very common, it's common in the sense of like, I gave birth to you. So, and sometimes parents can't even stop. Like if you're from an Italian household like me, sometimes you could hit your 40s and your parents are still like, you're 10, So when you mentioned it. So how do you address that, or what are some of the things you try to do?
You see, the most important part on then think is it's a very small thin line between discipline and abusing,
Yes.
So we gotta talk, figure it out exactly what we're doing. How much of that abusing is really created by the parents, and what's the reason is a stress too much, a stretch for the parents, alcohol involved, drugs, is it the kids live with the parents, or maybe it's so much involved in that. So you guys really know the totally details to really make the right decision of how to talk with the parents and how to talk with the kids. It's so much involved. It's much more than just okay, let's talk about bullying. You know what I'm saying? It's a big environment that you can go right and left and make mistakes as a parent, sometimes not knowing, and sometimes just clearing up the situation can help.
So you do it. So some of us, what you do involves a level of psychology somewhat. And
all psychology. With the kids is psychology. With the parents is psychology. Parents doesn't know how to be a parents. Kids doesn't know how to be a kids. Everybody have to learn the environment and really work with that. So this is what we're doing. We're not doing martial art as much as doing that much more.
When I had a couple teachers, because you brought it up, I had this one teacher who was such, excuse my language for cursing, he was such a prick. He was purposely picking on me. Like purposely. When you have kids who come in, you say like, how do you tell the children to deal with, how do you tell the children to deal with teachers who are being, bullies? Because that's a real thing.
The same thing as we talk about. We have to go and talk with the school about that, and talk with the school about that, and making sure that the teacher and the principal understand the situation. It's coming from the house, so they have to understand first. They don't know what's going on in the house, so they just continue, and in usual is the same story because of the kids getting bullied in the house. It's kind of it's okay for him to get bullied in the school, so before you know it, he get it in the house, he get it in the school, he get it from his friends, you know how many suicides we have? You not even believe the numbers, so it's really bugged me, it's really like, we gotta help kids and adults.
And I want to tell you something. You are building leaders at your school. So you have leaders at your school. 16. I'm sure you're working with kids. I'm going to tell you, if you're a kid watching this, I remember one time there were children I went to high school with who got bullied. Like, I don't know how they didn't kill themselves, for real. I got every once in a while, even Jackie Chan said, I got picked on. I got picked on a little bit, but I remember this one time I was getting picked on by this kid. Cool kid, big kid, football player. And this other kid I was friends with, who was a football player, looks at him and goes, what are you talking about, dude? Like, he said something racial about me. And he goes, dude, what are you talking about? He's Italian. Like, what's your problem? The guy never bothered me again. I saw him at parties. He was cool to me. It only sometimes it takes one person. And in high school, it's so superficial. But sometimes it only takes one person to do that. And so this one kid said to this other kid, what do you do? What are you doing? And then that other kid never bothered me again. I was cool with him and I had a good time. Like I there was some kids, like I said, terrible. So if you're a kid out there and you see someone getting picked on and you know that you have a little pull, or if someone respects you or you can take care of yourself, go up to the guy and say, hey, man, what's your problem? Because I've seen it a lot of places. I saw another MMA coach from high school. I'm trying to get on my show. He was a tough guy, but he was a respectful, tough guy. This kid was picking on him. He said to the guy, dude, cut that out. The other kid looked like he turned white, never picked on him again. That guy turned out to be a Bellator coach. So he coaches in Bellator. But back to you now, because I'm sorry. I just think it's important that you talk about leadership. So let's talk about, because you fought some real killers. You fought Sakuraba, Mark Coleman, and Mark Kerr. Yeah. Now, I want to say something, and then you could respond. There was an article on the Bleacher Report that I think is worth mentioning. It's called The Most Dicked Over Fighter in UFC History. And it's about you. And I don't think it's a negative thing. I actually think it's a positive thing.
What's that? Say it again.
There's a report on you, an article on you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. There's an article on you called, and I think it's a good article because I think it's fair. It's called The Most Dicked Over Fighter in UFC History, Moti Horenstein. It's on the Bleacher Report. Have you seen it?
I got the best fighters in the beginning.
Yeah. So they give you Mark Coleman, and you're very respectful about it. But here's a guy, you know, hey, you guys didn't do testing back then.
There was the time that it was no
testing.
No testing, no weight, no height, nothing. You know, it was nothing involved.
Right.
Just two people going. It was calling then 2 people going in, 1 goes out.
Yes. So you fight this, you know, a gentleman who's got a little bit of an enhancement help. I'm trying not to be rude in case I ever talk to him. I don't want to get beat up, and you fight him. And then you go and I guess you start working on your ground game, you know, some more. And then they give you Mark Kerr and UFC 14. And it's like give him somebody, give him another stand-up fighter, like build it right, like do it right.
Yeah. The challenge was that they tried to mix it up, you know, from this to that. No, kickboxing against kickboxing doesn't make sense for them, but they wanted to do a karate against kickboxing, judo against Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You broke up a little bit, but
I'm sorry because I left the dojo. I gotta get home, but I can continue. This is my car.
Well, there's not much more. I just wanted to say, but I think you're one of the I think you're one of the baddest men on the planet. I mean, you know, still. So I like that article because it really is honest. It's like, you know, they give you these guys, and then I liked your fighting style because it looks like, you know, you incorporated a lot of things where you started martial arts at 5, but it looks like you incorporated. I looked at your fights and it looked like you're using Muay Thai, judo, grappling, Krav Maga, and now you're probably very good at jiu-jitsu. I'm assuming your ground game is incredible now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, since 93, I just did jiu-jitsu.
Okay,
I mean,
so
I can my game, but I learned that I got to. Hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up, but that's okay.
Sorry, just in the bed. Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna get out of here.
I did an interview with a UFC fighter while he was getting on an airplane. So are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
No, I was saying I did a interview with Eric Anders of the UFC while he was getting on an airplane. So I'm just happy to talk to you guys. So you also broke the world record of 38 bats.
Yes, sir.
Do you still hold that record?
Yes, sir. I broke the record after somebody did 23 boards, 23 baseball bat. I broke 50, but 12 didn't count because it was kind of stuck together. You know, after you break a baseball, it's still stuck together a little bit. So it was a little bit stuck together. So 12 didn't count, but I broke 50.
Okay. And so you've been around these guys. I mean, you were officiated by Big John McCarthy, who's, you know, so that's got to be pretty cool. But let me ask you, I got a couple questions left for you. I fully respect you because, you know, you fought for the US, you fought for Team USA. So, you know, you represented our country. And back in the time when certain things weren't getting recognized, like karate and all that, but you were a heavyweight champion in multiple organizations. Do people now, I know you have children and you're probably a very respectful guy, but do people now sometimes not know who you are? And have you ever been tested like lately and you had to put someone down? Like even in the last 10 years? No?
Not falling into it. You know, people always challenging you, people always talking, people you know, I'm smiling and I move on, or I, you know, just give a nice top out and that's it. You know, I'm not really have to show off. I don't have what to anymore prove to myself or others. You know, it's today just to be, you know, the best guys I can and make others like that as well. You know, that's my goal.
So was your and that's a great goal. And so was your nickname the Hebrew Hammer? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it was the Hebrew Hammer versus the Hammer. That's kind of funny when you fought Mark Coleman. So I want to thank you for your time because I see you're driving, but I have one last question because I watched this really cool documentary and, you know, it was on Bruce Lee. And it was more than, it was just, I went down a rabbit hole on Bruce Lee. So he hurt his back. He was out for 6 months and he started writing about stuff. So I have a question I'm going to ask every guest, especially you mixed martial art guys.
Yes, sir.
If Bruce Lee were alive, he would do or be blank. And I'll give you an example if you want. If Bruce Lee were alive, he'd be on the Joe Rogan podcast. So that's, or if Bruce Lee was alive, he'd be verified on Instagram. So if I would ask you, if Bruce Lee were alive, you can make him his age when we all saw him, or you can make him what he'd be now, which I guess is in his 50s or 60s. If Bruce Lee were alive, he would blank.
Listen, Bruce Lee was a legend. He came out, he was the first one that did mixed martial arts, you know?
Yeah.
The development of his, from where he got to, I don't know if he can, you know, without the ground today, you cannot have a good, complete fighter, you know? So I think that the only point he missed, it was the ground. I don't know if he had it or no, but I don't think he had it then. The completion of a fighter got to be with ground and stand up, you know. Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu is the two system that if you put them together, it's very hard to fight against. So, you know, I think he will be, you know, still legend, but some like let's say like Billy Superfood or the kickboxer. Shame on me, forgot his name. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Okay. What's the name of the other kickboxer from the 60s?
Chuck Norris?
No, not Chuck Norris. Oh, yeah, Chuck Norris also on the list. You know, all those guys kind of grew up together and did the martial arts kind of the same, and they're all leaders, you know. I think he will be one of those. I don't know if he will. I mean, he had a chance. I mean, he was young. He couldn't take the jiu-jitsu and be even super person. I don't know. But he is a legend. He always will stay and be a legend.
He actually trained. He was the one, he had a fight and he told his wife after the fight, he felt like he didn't do as good as he should have in a tournament or something. So he did a movie with this stuntman named Gene LaBelle. Gene LaBelle is like a trained killer. And Gene LaBelle started training him. You know him?
Yeah, a good friend of mine. He's a judo guy.
Yeah, he taught Bruce Lee. Like they said, if he got into a fight with Bruce Lee, he would have killed Bruce Lee. But he taught Bruce Lee a lot of stuff, and Bruce Lee started like using boxing. And so he kind of started it in a way because, you know, that martial art, like the Kung Fu, they said, you know, you get a wrestler, it's going to take you down. That's it. All that Kung Fu. So I just wanted your opinion on that because I thought that was great. And thank you for your time. Is there anything? I'll promote you have a school in Miami Gardens. I'm going to put a link to that. You're to me, you're a living legend. You know, you made it to the major leagues. You were 0-2 in the UFC, but think about this. You follow baseball? Do you follow baseball at all or soccer?
Not really.
Okay. So my point is you made it to the major leagues. You made it to the show. And even afterwards, you fought some killers before and after. You got to the UFC because of your recommend of who you became as a fighter. But it's like if a pitcher got into the major leagues and he threw one pitch and then he never came back in, I'd still say that's so cool. But you were in the UFC. And, you know, in modern times, if you had a better, you know, at that time, you were working on your ground game. So right. To me, you're a legend. And it's a real honor to meet you. And I'm glad you're doing stuff for the children because a lot of children are turning out to be little shits. So I think it's nice that you're trying to help them and you're doing it. And hey, everyone's got to make money, right? So you're doing it, you're making money, but you're not doing anything wrong. So thank you for your time. It was a real honor.
You know, we're not compared to what are we giving. We really don't charge nothing compared to that. So
exactly, like I'm a therapist. My rates are so low, but I mean, I gotta eat. But this is fun for me. This is so fun for me to talk to you or to talk to some of these guys I've been talking to. It's been just an absolute joy. So thank you so much for your time and check out his school. The what is the name of your academy?
Moti Horenstein's mixed Krav Maga and mixed martial arts.
Yes, and we'll do this again hopefully down the road, and then because I want to talk to you more about Krav Maga, but I don't want to waste your time. You're driving, and I sort of have to do something else. But thank you so much, and I hope to meet you in person one day when I come back to Miami and say hello.
A lot of people say, what's that? It's Pat.